Lighting people! Today we're going to talk about how tags work. So I'm going to go over how to create tags, what all the settings are that have to do with using tags, and some of the ways that I use tags in my workflow. Let's get to it. I'm going to create a tag and we're going to go into edit and see what settings we have as options. First off, we can do the name, of course, the usual scribble and appearance options. We can assign other tags to this tag. We can put a note in, all that stuff. And here are the tag specific settings. We have tag type and forward commands. Tag type is default set to none, otherwise it can be kill instant or kill delayed. What this means is if you have the tag assigned to multiple objects and it's set to kill instant, then when you activate one, it will immediately turn off all other sequences that are referencing that tag. If you have it set to kill delayed, it will finish fading in the one you triggered, and then it will turn off the other ones that have the tag assigned. Forward commands is on by default, and it lets you use the tag to do an action on certain objects. So you would type in, instead of go sequence 1 through 3, you could do go tag 141 if it's assigned to sequence 1 through 3, and all 3 would go immediately. Now, if you want to assign it to an object, there are several ways you can do this. I'm going to show you one way: add new tag reference. You can select sequence group, preset, sound, timer, macro, world, whatever. And then you can click on one of these. You can also search. So I've got this one selected. You can also see what tags are currently assigned to it. I think you have to like stretch this out in order to see it, but you can see what tags are assigned to it. I'm going to select this one and I'm going to click assign. And now it's assigned, and you can see that that's the case. So I'm going to leave this window, and now we can see this item here. It shows us some information about what item it is, and then it gives us this editable column called protect, which we will talk about momentarily. But before that, I'm going to show you another way to assign it. First off, you can use the command line. I don't have the command line visible in this view, but a keyboard shortcut for assign is Alt-A. I'm going to click on the tag, and then I'm going to click on the object I want to assign it to. Now it's assigned. You can see this tag icon is showing you that a tag is assigned. If you edit the sequence, you can also see up here, tag is assigned. You can see a whole bunch of them if you have multiple assigned. Then the other way would be assign and just click on it, which is obviously easier than using the button. So we now have our tag assigned to these 3 sequences. What if I want to turn off these sequences? I have it set to forward commands, so what I can do is I'm going to actually enable my command line in this view so that I can see it. Show command line. Okay. Now I'm going to disable keyboard shortcuts, and I'm going to type off tag 141, and immediately they all turned off. My 3D view is being extremely laggy, so actually we don't need that. Just going to close it. Now we'll go into our tag settings and change the tag type to kill instant. And these sequences don't have a fade time, so it's not going to matter whether we have it kill instant or kill delayed. You're going to see the same effect anyway. I am going to protect sequence 3, and then I'm going to turn on sequence 1. I'm going to turn on sequence 3, it turns off sequence 1. I'm going to turn on sequence 2. Sequence 3 stays on. Turn on sequence 1, it turns off 2, but 3 stays on because 3 is protected. So the tag is set to kill anything that has the tag when something else with the tag is turned on, but sequence 3 is specifically protected from that kill. You can, in addition to this, go list references, and you can see references here. Even if you don't have forward commands enabled, maybe you want to use a specific range of sequences that have that tag or something, whatever you want to do. You can, instead of doing off tag 141, you could do off sequence 1 through 3 if tag 141. And that just checks to see if they have the tag and then turns them off. That's very useful. One thing to keep in mind is you can't include multiple things in an if statement in a macro. You have to just do one. So it has to be if it has this tag. You can't do if it has this tag and this tag, or this tag and not this tag. You can't do that. You can only do very simple if statements. All right, now I'm going to show you how I use tags. I'm going to pull up this view, and this is a lot. I just want to show you several different things, and this is going to be the easiest way to do it. So I use tags multiple ways. I have certain tags here that I use for metadata for my Lua plugins, because I do a lot of Lua programming, and I found that tags are like the most useful thing ever for providing unchanging data about my sequences. Let me show you what I mean. So if I have a plugin that needs to take user input and go, okay, you want me to copy the weekend master sequence. Now I have to know which one is the weekend master sequence, right? I could hard bake a value into my plugin that says the master sequence is sequence number 51. If I move that sequence, my plugin doesn't work. Or I could say the master sequence is one that's named weekend master. Now, if I rename that sequence for any reason, my plugin doesn't work. So it's not very scalable. It's not easy to change stuff in my workflow because I have to go edit code in my plugin, and that's a lot of work. So the way that I found to do it is I assign a tag to my sequence. And then I tell my plugin, look for this tag. And then when it finds that tag, it goes, okay, this is the sequence. So it's like a secret identifier, because guess what? I'm not going to change tags a whole lot. Why would I do that? I have no other purpose for this tag. The tag exists to identify the sequence. So the tag is assigned to the sequence. Then I go, oh, I'm going to create a new master sequence, and I don't want to use the old one anymore, but I want to save it, change the name, move it to a different location, sure. I'm going to just unassign the tag, assign it to something else. This is my master sequence. Maybe I want to temporarily change the master sequence. I can do that. It's very easy, and I don't have to think that hard about what's going on the Lua side. I don't have to worry about other people coming in and working on my show file and just moving something because they feel like it, and then it breaks the Lua plugin. They're not very likely to just change that tag. So I do that. I have my weekend master sequence assigned standard master tag, and my Lua plugin looks for that, and it copies that sequence when I need to create a new sequence for a service. I also have tags assigned to my sequences for Keylight. So these sequences are for Keylight. This is just some of them. Obviously, I have a whole bunch, but like I need to keep them identified based on what they're doing. So, for example, I have Keylight 1 pointing at location 1 of 6 singers, because there's different locations that people are standing in depending on if we have 6 singers or 5 singers or 4 singers or 3 singers. They're standing in different places. So I say, okay, when we have 6 singers, the person standing in location 1 is going to be in this place, and I'm using this light to point at them. I want my plugin that sets up Keylight to relabel all my Keylight sequences to have that information in the name so that I can see it quickly, and so that it knows which one to assign based on how many singers I have and where they're standing. So I use tags. Very easy. I have fixture 1, fixture 2, fixture 3. I have vocalist 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I just have total 3, total 4, total 5, total 6. So I have one of each of these tags assigned to all of my sequences, and you can see I have this one's fixture 1, total 6, vocalist 1. So when my plugin goes, it goes, okay, fix 1 is assigned to this, so this is using fixture 1. Total 6 is assigned, so this is for a total of 6 singers. And Vox 1 is assigned, so this is for the first of the 6. Immediately it has all that data. So I have an algorithm in my plugin that goes through and goes, okay, we have this, we have this, we have this, okay, that means this, this, okay, that means this. And it just assigns new names to all of these based on that. So they have their proper names, and the plugin knows which one is for which location based on all that stuff. I'm using tags. So I don't have to worry about if I move my Keylight sequences, now my plugin can't find them. It's all messed up. It's just based on the tags. So that's one way that I love using my tags, is for metadata for my plugins, but there's another thing that I do with them as well. So for busking, I have some of these sequences that are doing different effects, and sometimes I want to use a macro. Actually, I say sometimes. I do it literally like every service, like 5 times every service. I want to use a macro to turn off first most of my dimmers and then my saturation, variation, and movement effects. So I just click a macro and all those things turn off. Now, I'll be honest, I only very recently learned about the fact that you can just use a tag and forward commands like I showed you. So my macros aren't set up that way. I'm actually gonna probably change that, but the way I have this set is off sequence through if tag stomped in. So it looks for all the ones with tag stomped in, turns them off. If I want to change which ones are being turned off by this macro, I just change which ones have the tag assigned. But if I want to move my sequences around, it doesn't matter. It just looks for whichever ones are tagged. And then I could change this to off tag stomped in. And then this one right here, full off, is my other macro. It does the pan, tilt, and the sat vary ones. So I just tag the ones that I want to turn off with those macros with that tag, and ta-da, we're done. So easy. Another thing that I'm doing a little bit, this is also for my plugins, is I have a couple of tags here named with the names of songs. And that's because I programmed specific sequences that I would use when I'm running the programmed version of the song, that I would use this sequence to do a specific effect in it. So I want this sequence assigned to an executor. So I would have my plugin say, okay, if there's a tag with the name of the song that you put in that you're doing, then we find sequences tagged with that tag and assign them to an executor. That way I have it on my executor so that I can hit it. So yeah, that's kind of some of what I've been doing with tags. Let me know how you're using tags in your workflow. I know there are so many options, and I've only shown you using them on sequences, but you can use them on presets, you can use them on worlds, groups, you can use them on so many things, and for such a wide variety of things. Tags are one of my favorite features in grandMA 3, and I'm sure that if you didn't understand them before this, you should understand them now, and I hope it makes you really excited about using them, because there's endless possibilities. So let me know what you learned in the comments and how you use tags and how you're planning to use tags now that you've seen my whole explanation about it. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a great week and happy programming.